My name is Ragna Bygde and I am from Stockholm, Sweden. My PDJ number is 8559. I do get a lot of questions about that one, but it's a good number. I've played disc golf for about 10 years now, on and off, and my dad was the person who got me into it. In Sweden we don't really have AM divisions, or at least we didn't when I first started, so I've been pro since day one, and one of my very first tournaments was European Championships in 2005. It was a pretty good start of a career, but it's been a good journey. First, I want to show you my putters, and if you watched my previous video that we did a year or so ago, I still putt with the same ones as my PA4s. They are getting flippier, but it really fits my technique and my way of putting very well. I still throw with the 400 PA4. It is definitely a baby of mine, and I would cry if I lost it. So it's just one of those amazing discs that it does exactly what you want to do. It's not great in a headwind, but I mean, you have other discs for that. This is just the standard upshot disc, 250 feet. You know, everyone has their little baby, and this is mine. Second, I have the PA2, and this one is for a little bit trickier weather situations, and it's a little bit more reliable, but it flies pretty straight. It's a 400 PA2 like I mentioned, and you can either S-curve it or just throw it straight, and it kind of does exactly what you want it to do. I've just added a 350 lightweight PA1, and this is kind of my new baby. I throw it on a little bit longer upshots, especially standstill ones. And since it's a PA1, I can S-curve it, and I know it is 159 grams, and I know that scares a lot of people, but it really is as stable. It just flies farther, so definitely a new family member. As my mids, I throw the M4 as my main one. I have two ones just like previously, and they're still my babies. I feel like that's all I say, but they all are. And I have one that's a little bit more beat in, and then I have the one that's a little bit more stable. This one particularly, I've had my boyfriend swim for a couple of times, but it's just one of those discs that I guess I would make him swim, but it's one of those discs that you would just go after no matter what. You know, it's in mud and you just spent 2 hours trying to find it back. Definitely, I love it. I have the M3 750 plastic, and this one is kind of like my PA1. I throw this at an S-curve in a little bit windier situations. It's very reliable, and also if I have a kind of a straight to hyzer shot, it's always going to fly that way, and I can actually throw it originally on an anhyzer and it'll just continue, so it's extremely reliable. Okay, as my fairway drivers and hybrid drivers, I have my Proto F7 as my kind of go-to when it's not windy. It always flips for me, and if I kind of tilt it down on a hyzer, it'll flip and then come back. It flies pretty far, and it's just one of those discs that you know how it flies, and you know that if you hyzer, it's going to flip a little bit and then it's going to come back. Second, I throw the Proto F5, and this one is a little bit more stable than my F7. It definitely handles wind a little bit better, but I throw this dead flat and it just flies straight the whole way through. The new stuff that I got, which I've absolutely fallen in love with, it's the lightweight H3. It's only 150 grams, and when I first got this, I definitely tilted it down on a hyzer thinking that it would flip out, and I probably did that about 10 times before I realized that they're not going to flip at all, and they're extremely reliable. I mean, we actually went out and we threw this in a extreme headwind with an anhyzer. Surely it was about a 300-foot shot, but it came back, and it was incredibly reliable. So this is definitely my new family member, and also since I did try this one in lightweight, I'm going to swap over. I'm going to try to get an F2. I tried the M4 the other day. Amazing. You'd think a flippy disc like the M4 would be really flippy in 150, but it really isn't. It just goes farther. So go out and get them. My drivers. As my flippy driver, I still throw my D4. And this is kind of a standstill. It's a full weight, but I've had it for 2 years. Very flippy, but also extremely reliable. If you have a tailwind and you throw a hyzer, it's just gonna go and go and go. I just added a lightweight D4 into my bag. When I say lightweight though, I'm talking 169. And I use this for standstill uphill shots. I know it sounds very specific, but when you get one of those shots, and specifically in Michigan, you're gonna want this because you just can't throw something stable uphill, standing still. So this has been a great addition to my bag. Here we go again, lightweight. This is a lightweight D3. It's 147 grams. Actually the second time I threw it 470 feet. And I've never thrown that far in my life, so obviously I put it in my bag pretty quick. It's one of the better discs I've ever thrown. Obviously this one is a lot flippier than my full weight D3. But like I said previously with the D4s, if you throw this in a tailwind, especially if you angle it down, it's just gonna keep going. And then as my absolute main driver, I have my D3. I've had it for 2 years. It's my go-to. It's my, brother in arms. It's just, I know exactly how it flies. I can throw it completely straight and flip a little bit, or a little bit hyzer and it'll race up, or I'll throw hyzer all the way. And it's just one of those discs that it flies exactly how you want it to go, and extremely reliable, and definitely my go-to through everything. And then also again, a new addition is a 160 gram D1. I personally don't throw full weight D1s. I don't need it for my arm, and the 160 gram that we actually have, they are reliable enough to throw in headwinds. They are stable, and a lot of people have started going over to the lightweight, and I'm definitely one of them. Die-hard fan of the lightweight now, and I have a couple ones not with me today that I've thrown for almost 2 years, and a lightweight ones, and they're still good and they're still stable. So I guess in conclusion, lightweight is where I'm going this year, and I can trust it. It's really nice, and it's a lot easier for my back and my shoulder. I know a lot of us have injuries and stiffness and things like that, so I would just recommend you all to go get one, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5.